Let me introduce you. Today is April 5th, 2013, and today we have Project Voice member Patrick Trent, who has stopped by the office today. He's going to talk about depression, and it was a previous list conducted by the Gallup poll of miserable cities, and during a previous Brothers and Bagels episode, we looked at Evansville, Indiana is in the top 10, and for Evansville, they were ranked in the top 10 because of high levels of obesity and smokers in the city. But today Patrick wanted to sit back and get some more information about the state of Indiana and depression and statistics, and we're gonna let Patrick have the floor. So Patrick, introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Patrick Trent. I'm a first semester student here at Ivy Tech. My major right now is liberal arts that is subject to change. And yeah, I wanted to address the issue about depression, since recently, in a recent study, according to Health Magazine, the state was rated number 2 as the most depressing state to live in the nation. And more specifically, apparently Evansville was among one of the most miserable cities in the U.S. to live in. And, Indiana is second to Arkansas as the number 1 as the most depressing state to live in.
Where'd you get that information from?
And this is all from Health Magazine, and also an article published in the Indianapolis Star within the last, I want to say, 3 weeks.
Okay.
So, if you want to go through statistics, we still have, unemployment rate is still at 8.9. It's above the national average. We have budget cuts here in the city within the last 3 years, or 4 years now. About 4 years. 2010, Mitch Downs passed a $300 million cut towards public schools. And, as a result, we've had over 150 public schools closed. A lot of them were just vacant. Some have been transformed into churches. Others have been transformed into charter schools. And needless to say, it's not really good for a morale boost when you have so much of this, I don't know the correct word, cut, and it's not structured. There's a lot of restructuring going on, and it's not really for the best. I'm actually looking here on my laptop right now about criminal statistics. We have a 68% crime rate for Indianapolis. The national median for violent crime is right at 4%, and we are at 11%. In crimes per square mile, national median 39.6, we are at 154. But the point that I'm making is that there are a lot of ingredients that create like a recipe for self-destruction in the city. If you even take account for the climate, we have so many extreme summers and winters. We're closing out the first week of April, and it still feels like it's January. Last summer, record-breaking heat, 100 degrees, lasted for months, like literally the entire summer. So when you take account of the weather, the unemployment, the budget cuts, and you watch the news of the sensationalized news of unfortunate events with child murders, molestation, pop politics, and when you have all that, like I said, you're within a city that just, you're wondering, what's good about it. It creates an unhealthy mind, and in health itself. Those who have to depend on Wishart Advantage for whatever reason can tell you that it's very aggravating. For those who suffer from clinical depression in and of itself, which basically is misfiring synapses in your brain where it's very hard to focus. You become isolated, you lose motivation and hope in yourself. There's a sense of worthlessness and loneliness. lack of sleep, appetite, and that can come from either personal issues within the person's life, or again, just a chemical imbalance within their mind and within their entire body and environment that they're around. And for those who want to seek out help, but are unable to because of finances and have to depend, like I said before, on Wishart Advantage, it's like hitting your head against a brick wall. There's thousands and thousands of patients on a backlog because it takes months for Wishart Advantage users to be set up with a primary physician. Let alone getting the certain kind of medication to help them out. Now there are ways for those who are without health insurance or proper health insurance to help out depression through natural remedies. There's something called St. John's Wort and 5-HTP, which are basically natural remedies that are a calm, mood stabilizer.
Where do you get these remedies?
You can get these at any health food store. If you feel, you can go in there and you feel it might be too much, you can go to Walgreens, you can go to CVS. St. John's Wort is so just about every. You can go into Kroger's for that. But the thing is, with those remedies aside, it varies from person to person. And for those who suffer from depression, feel that no one understands, and they feel that they might not be able to convey how it really is because they are suffering from it and don't have proper help to help them along. Like, for example, I help facilitate and am also a member of a support group we have here in the city called DBSA. It's Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance. It's held every Monday at the Presbyterian Lutheran Church off of the corner of West 73rd and Hoover Road. Every Monday from 7:30 till 9 p.m. And we get together and we discuss what is going on with us. We try to offer support, certain medical advice within means, because obviously none of us are certified physicians by any means, but it's a more or less support group for people who feel that they're left out in the cold, because the harsh reality is that there are two sides to this problem. There are people who